Z159 FM. O-Town's #1 rock station, Z159 FM. Right. Your only home for the Hot Tub and Mini Fridge Morning Show and Dump 'em Out Fridays.
Ooh, yeah, a hot tub and mini fridge. Keep me cold and hot.
Call Tom and Dan now. 1-844-TOM and Dan. That's 1-844-TOM, the letter N, Dan. Leave him a message, and you just might hear yourself on the show. 1-844-TOM and DAN. Call them now. Or later.
Let me turn off this music. Good morning. Hey, good afternoon. We're back. Hope everybody had a good lunch. We have guests. We have a new guest. He's got the correct color on. Go City. Orlando City. Science Center. You can tie it all in together.
All perfect.
Yeah.
Let me turn
We're
you
just
on, Jeff.
community.
Sorry. There
No
we go.
worries.
Yeah. Purple's kind of the Orlando color, right?
Yeah.
It
Feels like it.
Feels that way.
Yeah.
That's right. It's the best
the color of royalty.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's why they picked it.
Exactly.
Tom and I helped write. If we ever told, that's a fun fact to tell people. Like, were we instrumental? Well, maybe not instrumental in writing part of the culture of Orlando City soccer, and the answer is yes.
Very
we were in
nice.
all of those
Claim
meetings.
that.
A lot of the beginning marketing
Was
we
us.
were involved in.
Yep.
That's cool.
Some of the biggest failures in there.
Wow.
No, we really didn't
it's
have that
all-
many.
But you learn and grow.
Yes.
But the
and
purple was
grow.
a good choice.
And do anybody remember that episode of Friends where Joey was doing you learn and you grow, and you're growing and learning?
The learning and the
learning
giving,
and
giving, and the
sharing.
growing and the sharing.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Friends. Okay. Mr. Van, would you like to start us? Where's this going?
This is Thursday, July 17th.
Thursday, July 17th.
Because we're promoting Astro Fest
Yes,
the 19th
we are.
and 20th.
It's the 19th to 20th. All right.
Yep.
You want to start?
Yes.
Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. We'd ask you to join us as well. Just search for @TomandDanLive. That's our handle on all social media. And check out our YouTube page. Tons of great content, including Swervy Jones cartoons.
Jeff and Zachary are here from the Orlando Science Center. How you guys
Hey.
Oh,
Thank you for
blast.
having us.
That's
It's good to be
Zachary's
here.
first blast. Your first blast. How's it feel,
I'm
Zach?
excited.
Can I call you Zach? That's
You
your
can call
first
me whatever you
blast.
want. Yeah.
That's your first blast, man.
doing? So I can't wait to talk the universe with Zachary.
Yep.
And but let's talk Astro Fest happening this weekend.
Yes, happening this weekend. A really good time. And before we get into that, I need to say I was watching you guys' show recently, and you had little Rose on,
Yes.
the pinball
Oh, yeah,
princess.
yeah.
And
She's
she
coming.
was all about coming to the Science
Yeah.
Center.
Yeah.
I gotta give a shout out to Rose and thank her for her support. And the next time you see her, we got a little something for her.
Little gift.
So we got her a little Izzy the Sloth
Yeah.
from Life.
All right.
So the next
Awesome.
time you
Look at
see
that.
Rose, let
Okay,
her know
well,
we
that's
appreciate
awesome.
her repping us.
Thank you, guys. Yeah,
Yes.
it's always nice when you get a child to come in and organically yell.
yeah.
Science
Yeah.
Center!
Yeah.
I was like,
Well,
yes. I was like,
that was a-
God. I
that
was
was a
like, Jeff
big
will
deal.
never hear this.
Yeah, it
But
was
he
a
did.
big deal.
We're watching.
It was a very big deal for us.
Yeah.
We shared that video around the Science Center. We all got a
And
big
she's
kick
so
out
cute.
of it.
She's like freaking adorable,
Yeah.
man. And
Karate Kid.
she was all about, I don't want to talk about her pinball
Yeah.
cleaning work
Yeah.
ethic, but I do want to say that she did seem to be
more interested
way
in the
more
Science
interested in the
Center.
science. Yeah, and I don't think a lot of polishing happened because they were out the door
Well,
pretty fast.
Then
after
we
the
got
game.
we got a youth volunteer in the making. Then I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
man, that's really really cool.
So we would, Rose, join us at Astro Fest if you're listening.
There you go.
But it's this weekend, the 19th and 20th. It is a celebration of space and space travel. We are going to have some great guest speakers from NASA
Nice.
on Saturday and Sunday, talking about launch systems on Saturday and Artemis missions to the moon on Sunday. We've got Rocket Lab, where you can learn about launching
Rocket
rockets.
Lab!
Yeah.
We've got space simulators. We've got some really awesome movies playing on the giant screen.
One
some
of them,
special guests.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes.
Why would you-
I don't know. It's like the last
We're not
movie.
paying that.
It's literally the last movie.
We had Rose so good. You ruined it.
I was on a roll.
You ruined it all.
And Jeff
We
takes
had
the
Rose
sloth. He
and
takes the
you-
sloth. He takes it back.
Yes.
I'm taking my sloth back.
Yeah, there it was like, don't know how to respond to that.
I'm sorry.
You
Jeff off. I know.
I was
he's-
on a roll.
And he's done nothing to me. He's such a sweet man.
I was on a roll. But yeah,
some of the
definitely
great-
a good time to come this
Yeah.
weekend. And it's all included with admission.
Yeah, and it is one of the. You guys are always rolling out special events. Almost. I mean, I would dare I say almost at least once a month.
Yeah,
Monthly
once a
for
month.
sure.
is-
At
yeah.
least once a month.
Yeah. Obviously, become a member. It's the best time, especially in the summer where it's rainy, it's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the Science Center with your kids.
Maximum AC. in
They'll
there.
learn something.
For
They'll
sure.
have fun all day. You can go for weeks and never experience the same things. You know what I'm saying? Like there is
You
a
can.
ton to do.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk Astro Fest.
Yes.
Zachary. So I figured out what's wrong with the universe.
Okay.
Here it is. It's the marketing. All right. So
Sure.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, they're doing a lot of new marketing. You know, there was the big Netflix deal.
Yeah.
Like recently, where now we're going to get all our NASA stuff on Netflix. So I think just having it the places people go is a big deal, right?
Yes, and but what I mean is I'm too dumb to understand what's going on in the universe now.
Well, you love it. You're addicted to it.
I do love it, but I'm having a problem comprehending it.
Okay.
And like in 1950s universe, it was like, hey, let's go out there and put our flag in the moon.
Oh, brutal,
Yeah.
brutal space. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the marketing is a great way to think about it because it took 60 years between humans just being able to fly to then get to the moon. And that was because of people's buy-in. When we were caring about space travel and everything like that, we were able to punch it through. We were able to get people onto the moon 60 years after we were able to just fly in general. And so like those are those amazing things of like that marketing we need to get people invested in buy-in.
Yes.
I like the way you put that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just 60 years prior.
It was 60 years.
So, for instance, I looked up a couple stories about the universe. You know, I type in universe news.
Hey, that's what I was doing over here.
Yeah.
You know, we were like a modern day When Harry Met Sally. I was over here Googling universe news. He was doing the same. Only a wall between us.
And so I'll tell Zachary about some of the news that I saw, and then I start reading, and I'm like, oh, this is super interesting. And then it gets to a point where I'm like, can't comprehend it. So I'll talk about the recently
the dum-dum threshold.
observed some colossal structures in the universe, bigger than we ever thought existed. And I guess, with the new telescope and, every time, I guess they put new software that helps it, see things we haven't seen before. And they found this colossal structure that's 1.9 billion light years wide.
Yeah.
Right? So you're like,
Massive.
oh, wow, I understand billion. That's big.
Yeah.
But then I saw another story about basically a satellite that we threw out there 49 years ago.
Oh, is this the one that came back to life?
Maybe it was, but it was a probe that we sent out into the universe 49 years ago, and it was talking about how far. Obviously it's still in our solar system.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's been traveling for 49 years at this speed, like faster than a speeding bullet, and it hasn't traveled one light day. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Right,
And then so then I'm like, okay, well then 1.3 billion light years
is how many light days? I see where you're going.
Yeah,
This is one of the first times I've ever understood it.
And so I
Yeah,
understood 49
Yeah,
years, and then I'm like, I only understand time based on my puny human
yeah,
existence.
exactly.
Your insect level intelligence.
And then I'm like, it's not even, my brain can't even comprehend a light year and what that even means, much less 1.2 billion light years and how big that even actually is.
Yeah, so if you want to bring it down to like our monkey human brain understanding of time, the easiest way to go is the distance between the Earth and the sun. It's very far. It's like several 100 million miles. It takes 8 minutes for light to travel between. So you can say that we're 8 light minutes away from the sun. So then you get into a light year. How many minutes are in a year, in a day, in a week? And then you get into like you're talking about
I like
billions
your sun
of years.
comparison. That gives it a starting point.
It's like, okay, well, that's the closest star. That's one astronomical unit. That's how we measure our solar system. The distance between the Earth and the sun is one astronomical unit. We can say Mars is like 1.3, Jupiter's like 3.3, and on and on.
Yeah.
But that's 8 minutes. So if the sun disappeared, let's say it blinked out of existence, we wouldn't know for 8 minutes. It would take 8 minutes for the sun's light to travel to Earth and still hit us. We wouldn't be thrown out of its orbit yet. The gravity hasn't even blinked out of existence yet. The gravity waves are still reaching our planet. So we would still be orbiting around a sun that isn't there anymore for 8 minutes until finally it blinked out of existence for us. So the sun that you look up at,
That'll be the wildest 8 minutes I've had.
yeah, yeah,
Right? Like that
we
would be
wouldn't know. We wouldn't
literally
know.
the wildest 8 minutes.
Like NASA, they would not know that it happened because the information would not have reached us
hasn't
yet.
reached
There
us
is
yet.
no cosmic way to understand.
And then what would happen?
We would just float off and freeze into
But
outer
what would that
space.
feel like? Instant freezing?
Yeah, it would probably get really cold really quickly. It would be dark instantly because there wouldn't even
And
be
freezing,
moonlight.
they say, is lovely, right? That's the most lovely way to die.
Yeah, I think it would probably turn out really good for the rest of humanity.
Yeah, there you go. All right. You heard it here first, folks.
The crawdads on like the bottom of the ocean would be fine, and that's about it.
Yeah. Everything else?
Oh, people are going crazy.
It would not be good.
It's crazy.
Another story I saw, Zach, is a story about they figured out that this thing called the firewall paradox. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
Like
I hope you made this up.
no, I saw
Yeah,
this.
right.
So essentially, this has to do with black holes, which is another story I'll tell you about. Like two black holes combining. But the scientists used to believe, or I guess still do. There's all a lot of theory. Is that the event horizon, the area around the black hole? They used to think it was like a smooth, like if you got into the event horizon, you'd just be pulled into a black hole. But the event horizon wouldn't really do anything to you. It would just pull you towards the black hole.
Yeah, it's just a point of no return.
And then the firewall paradox is they believe now there's more evidence to suggest that there is some sort of essential firewall, all right, in the event horizon that will incinerate everything that passes through it.
Okay.
And then I'm still following, by the way. I'm still like, okay, firewall. I know what that is. A wall of fire, then you pass or you burn. Okay.
I got distracted with the computer firewall for a split second, but then I
Yeah.
changed it and now I'm back.
So then I'm like, okay, I'm still following here. It's still good marketing because I'm excited.
Where did they lose you?
Here's where they lost me. They're like, it'll even burn light and information. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, hold on.
Well, that's the weapon you need. It's the information laser.
And I'm like,
exactly.
wait a minute. I don't comprehend the burning of light or the incineration of light and information.
That is
What is information?
That is such a death metal lyric if I've ever heard one. The burning of light.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, isn't information only what my brain is perceiving? It's not really a tangible thing that the firewall can burn.
It is energy, though, right?
Now, is this just letters or email?
Oh, yeah, it's just
Yes!
it's
Yeah.
just burning
Jeff is
binary
with
code.
me.
Yeah, Jeff, you're on board.
Postcards,
We knew Jeff fitted here when we saw his
newspapers.
fun shirt.
Yeah.
We're like, this is a Tom and Dan guy.
I came to play.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff, for being on brand.
Burning paper, I can understand, but it's just light. and
I'd
information.
assume the information they're talking about is going to get like the building blocks are like atoms, molecules, and things like that. Well, the things that build atoms and molecules are like quarks, and we can get into like string theory. And so like even those specific quarks that make up protons and hadrons and neutrons and electrons, like even that is going to be destroyed. Like it is fundamentally ripping apart the strings of reality.
Yeah.
That's the information they're talking about.
There's
It's
your
really
song lyric.
every
That's a song
That's
lyric.
that is so metal. Man.
Yeah.
Like this is all like where Dave Mustaine and all these guys go to get their lyrics.
But so Zachary, you talk about this space in the universe all the time. Do you find that this is a problem, like I'm describing, for normal people to comprehend something as far as like something ripping apart the basic framework of anything that exists?
again,
And you're
like
what?
our observable universe is this macro scale that we can see and perceive. I can see a couch, I can see a microphone, but you can't necessarily see the tiny little Lego bricks that are building it, right? We can see that when you build a Lego set, but you can't see it in reality. We can't see cells, atoms, molecules, things like that. And so it's so hard to conceive in our brains what that really is. And then we learn about that and we can understand that leaving high school. But then you go out into the world and people who study this, they learn about the building blocks that build those building blocks and like Legos made out of Legos. And it's just so fundamentally expanding macro and macro, tinier and tinier. And then you can get to like Ant-Man Quantumania and you can get to the quantum universe and things can get so crazy down there. So it's just so fascinating to see like every layer has a layer under it, has a layer under it. And those firewalls are going to destroy every single layer.
Yeah, ChatGPT adds if firewalls exist, which it's a theory, I guess. Even the photons crossing the event horizon would be annihilated. So it's just a disruption of all matter.
Yeah. But like understanding light as a photon is also confusing to us because
it's not the way we think of it.
No.
It's like the photon can only move the speed of light. There's no, it's like.
Well,
I'll give
you guys a real world example of something that's kind of happening now that ties exactly into what you're talking about. We don't really think of light as being something tangible that we can grab. There is a reggae band called Slightly Stupid, and there's a video that's been going around on TikTok where the lead singer, I think, he walks out in the crowd, and they have this giant laser show going on. and he has a left-handed cigarette, and he walks
I saw
up to the
this.
laser and he lights his cigarette off of the laser,
Oh, yeah.
and it starts burning and he starts puffing it out. Also, to go along with this, on Monday I was in here yelling and screaming. You come around the corner, you're like, "What are you yelling and screaming about?" I'm like, "They've invented a mosquito laser that uses AI technology. It's a little box that looks like this camera I'm looking into, and it'll scan your yard. And every time it sees a low and slow moving insect, which is a mosquito, it has to be like a mosquito type of something that flies. They give you like a time limit. It has to move at a certain speed, but it'll just laser all the mosquitoes out of the sky. It's called the Golden Dome or something. They're making fun of the, but it's called like the Black Dome or something, and you can buy it. So, like, lasers are having a moment. Like, we are having a tangible moment with lasers where the laser, the light of being a something that we cannot touch, those days are over. I want big, fat, touchable light.
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean,
it's
there's like a lot of dance crews out there that will use their laser lights. And I think of, like, the Jabberwockies with, like, the NBA Finals. They'll play with their lasers and stuff like that. Even at the Science Center, we use lasers to, like, pop balloons. You can get a certain colored laser, and if it's bright enough, it'll pop through certain colors of balloons with the different wavelengths of the light and how they travel. So
That's cool.
There's crazy stuff you can do with lasers.
Yeah, lasers are awesome. They're having a moment right now.
So, Zachary, is there anything in the universe that you had a tough time comprehending when you first, just started learning about the universe?
Yeah, I think when we talk about the universe, I think black holes constantly will capture the imagination of almost anyone as you think about it.
Yeah.
And then there's the idea of white holes, where it's like the other side of it, and the wormhole, and it's actually a bridge that folds space and time on top of itself, and in space and time are tangible things that are out there as well. I can measure time and I can manipulate time. That's such a weird thing because we're here on Earth and we're at our constant speed and we're at time on how it flows for us as humans and how we move through the universe. But if something is traveling faster, it experiences time slower, and you can send
Zachary?
two twins. There's so much crazy stuff.
I've never heard the term white hole before.
Have you never heard of a white
and
hole?
I'm going to have to excuse myself.
Oh, this is incredible.
It's impossible for me to sit here and
let's
make
go to
jokes.
back the white hole.
I can't wait to tell you about a white hole. Okay, so black hole
I'm gonna explode.
consumes all information. It burns it. It will erase it from the universe. And theoretically, there could be something called the white hole. It was originally thought about when Stephen Hawking was working on his original black hole thesis.
He likes a little white
And
hole.
these white holes would just spew out that same information. If information or matter can't be created or destroyed, it is being transported through space and time somewhere else in the universe, and it's almost like a bridge between the two. And so white holes are constantly emitting light, and they're constantly shooting out that information in intense forms of radiation as well.
So that's another thing that
Never
bothers
heard
me
that.
is that black holes don't operate under the rules of physics as we know it, and that's been a mystery for scientists to try to figure out why, or even if they do in a certain way that we don't understand.
And that adds to that theory of the firewall that you're talking about. That's exactly what ChatGPT was saying.
Because, like you said, if energy can't be created or destroyed, then it has to go somewhere.
Yeah, theoretically.
Yeah.
Right? We haven't observed a white hole ever. We haven't been able to find one or anything like that. It would be pretty difficult to discover because it would just look like a bright white star. And so, but the math works out that these things could exist as Isaac Newton is figuring out how planets and stars move throughout the universe, and then Einstein comes in and adds in relativity, and we're able to get closer and closer to that finite detail of figuring out. And then even Stephen Hawking's contributions, it all is able to get a little closer to the right answer, whatever that answer is. And scientists today are going to go even deeper and figure that out.
I almost feel like you hit it. It's almost like they're going to be stars that we thought were stars, but we're further away, and we're categorized as stars, but they weren't stars. They were white holes.
Yeah, possibly.
And, I don't know. That happens
but
sometimes.
they might not even exist in our time. It could be that that's something that was fundamental in the beginning of the universe, or only at the exact end of time when the universe might collapse in on itself will these objects even appear and transmit that information.
Or they happen what would be considered for them regularly, but we are so insignificantly small that our level of time means that their level of frequency is a nothing.
So
because we're a blip.
Exactly.
Boy, that's when you put it like that, it kind of sucks. It's like, we're not even going to see one.
But it's so cool that we're at the time, and even our brief human history, that we can start to understand this. Think about even 400 years ago, 500 years ago, there was no world where we could have even predicted that these things exist. We're so lucky to live in this time in science where we are able to start understanding what's happening out there and start seeing the bigger picture that we are a part of and appreciate that we are just this small blip.
Dig it, man.
So, Zach, this leads me to another supercomputing and AI and artificial intelligence. I've read some stories about people claiming that AI will advance us in physics because it's so much smarter than we are, and then we're close to. They were predicting by in the next 10 years we will learn new physics from AI. And so, back when Einstein was born, and people were like, "This guy's smart." And they used to be waiting until some anomaly human was born and can tell us all how it worked, and then do the math behind it. And then now it seems like that that the artificial intelligence and technology will always surpass humanity at this point. There won't be a human born that's smarter than artificial intelligence, and because it's impossible.
Right.
And then there will be a point where we'll have to trust AI and what it's telling and the math behind it, right? It's like AI is like, hey, this is the truth. This is the new physics. To the point where it's our new God. What do you think?
That's the Rogan thing. That's what he's been saying about born unto no mother. You
just have
the
faith
second coming of Jesus.
Yeah, the Terminator AI.
Yeah.
I've seen all those theories, and we dabble a little bit with AI. We do a lot of generative AI, art and stuff like that.
Sure.
I think the thing to remember is these AI models are still trained by humans, so they can only gain the information that we can give it, and it can extrapolate from there. But there's two kinds of AI. There's a narrow AI model that is focused on a specific task, whether it's generating an image or figuring out how to get you from point A to point B, like a GPS AI. But to have a wide range AI, a truly artificial intelligence, is still pretty far out of our human grasp. Amazon pretty recently tried to have an AI house assistant that can be like a Roomba and clean, but also go get you water and help feed your pets and stuff like that. And they created this little robot, and it was powered by AI, and pretty quickly it was tripping over the stairs and breaking itself and not able to complete more than just a few basic household chores. So I think we're still pretty far away from that, but those all theoretically could happen. But this is all still just information that we are training it on. It's able to extrapolate creativity, but it's based on the images and pictures and ideas that we've given it and trained it on.
That's why a lot of musicians hate it right now for Suno and some of the programs that I use and mess around with. They hate it because you can almost hear the patterns of music in it.
Yeah.
It literally is just taking and training. It's predicting where a song will go based on the songs that we've written. That's it.
Until the singularity happens.
Right. And I don't even fully understand that.
And then it's like, trust me, this is the reality. And you're just like, it's smarter than me. I just have faith in it.
Even then you test it, right?
Yeah, you have to test it. Right now we're at the point where it's a great tool and it can help you do your job maybe more efficiently and everything like that, but it's still a tool. A calculator is a math machine that can tell us the answers a lot faster than writing it down on a chalkboard.
I need to say something to everyone out there that emails me that I talk to via email.
Okay.
If you use a lot of emojis in your email, I know you're using AI. And if you use a long dash.
Yeah, the M dash.
If you lose, is that what it's called?
It's M dash,
yeah. Yeah, the M dash. Thank you. This is a smart man. He knows what it's called. I call it a longer dash. If you use the M dash, Hillbilly Daniel calls it a longer dash. I know you're using AI. I know you are. Yeah. So what you should do is go in there and wherever you have a longer dash, delete it and put a tiny dash, and then I'll be like,
you gotta edit it out. It always ends its emails with best too.
Yes,
that's a really good one. I feel like everyone goes to the classic thank you, or if you have any questions or anything.
I've always done all the best.
An easier tell for my emails is if everything's spelled right. That's all.
You can.
If it's spelled right, I didn't write it.
Now they have this thing that I saw where you can go in and it's a program that will ask you to, someone like you, it'll give you a paragraph and it'll show it to you, and then it'll say now, from what you recognize that paragraph, type it really fast or type it in your normal cadence. Just give me the mistakes and all. Yeah. And it'll take the mistakes that you make over a certain period of time, and then it will cleverly reproduce your same mistakes in an email, so you can now fake misspell emails to people and they'll think it's you.
And that's a lot of effort to go into
Yeah.
just not write an email. Right? Like the more effort you put into it and you train your model, but that's a lot of front loading of work as well.
This is why the robots crush our skulls,
Yeah.
Zach.
I mean, they're training
they're
it
like
to misspell.
We're so lazy that we will put in so much work to not do any more work. It's such a
This
funny
is like,
concept.
Yeah,
you
you
guys,
know.
I'm crushing your skull because you're so stupid. So Zach, what? Let's talk about like things in the universe besides like the time relativity is something that's proven that's still fascinating. I try to tell my sons like, I'm like they've proved it by flying an atomic clock around the globe and it was milliseconds off. Proving that the faster it goes, that the slower time goes.
There was a story about
It's
putting
proven.
clocks on the moon today, and I didn't get a chance to read it before you guys got here. But I think it has something to do with that, like where they're testing time.
And then the closer you get to something like a black hole or something that's super dense, the slower your time goes relative to people. I guess the human time on Earth.
Earth time.
And therefore enabling you to essentially travel into the future. Like they proved because of this that future time travel can exist.
I mean, it's literally interstellar, right? Like that crew gets so close to a black hole that he ends up returning back to Earth, or not even Earth, but like where Earth humans went through the regular time dilated, and his daughter was all of a sudden 104 years old, right? And that's like such a gravity-defying thing, but it's so interesting. There's like a twin paradox where if we were able to build an engine that can travel half the speed of light, and we sent one twin on that rocket ship, and we had another twin here on Earth, and they traveled 50 years out and 50 years back, that twin would only have aged 50 years relative to their twin here on Earth, and maybe not even be there for their funeral. Like, it's really interesting to think about like the amount of time dilation that happens as you approach those light speeds. But even microscopically here on Earth, if someone is sitting in a chair and another person runs past them, those two individuals have represented time slightly differently. Milliseconds that all average out in the end, but someone running 5 miles per hour down the road is slightly slower in time than that person stationary here on Earth.
If I were president, I would go back to when we used to use real twins in real experiments. And I would send one to the moon or whatever, and then leave one here.
It would be so like even like the moon travel is so microscopic, but like if we got true like close to light speed engines or anything like that, like the people in Star Wars, they would be so messed up with the amount of time dilation that they would experience as they go into like warp drive and everything like that. They would go to a planet, and that planet would have aged 10 years, and the conflict would have been way over by then.
I like that you're ruining their dumb movies.
So sorry, Star Wars fans.
Get 'em!
I know you worry so much about the scientific accuracy, but technically,
Yeah, when I watch Star Wars, I'm really thinking, what's the real science here?
Yeah, I want more science fact in my science fiction. That's definitely what I'm looking for.
You're preaching Tom's language, man. He'll get in there and start watching Dune. One thing will happen. He's like, I'm out.
Yeah,
They ruined it.
The problem is it ruins the entertainment of them.
They can just say space magic and
much
it's fine.
way
Way
less
less
fun.
fun.
Entertainment.
Yeah,
Galaxy
it's like,
far,
why
far
can't we
away.
travel there? Because my daughter will be 104 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Interstellar is you float around the bookcase, pushing the
For sure.
and it's just like, you lost me at the bookcase.
Space magic takes over eventually.
and then all of a sudden you get shot back out in space. You're floating there, and then the spaceship is. You know how big space is?
It's like really good.
Like asteroid fields. I don't know, made me think of this, but in the movies, you see Star Wars, and they're trying to go in and out of asteroid fields, and they're dodging rocks.
So stupid.
They
I
don't
hate
try.
them.
They do.
They
They
do.
get
Only the
through
most
it.
experienced pilot in the universe can
Yeah.
get through this.
But those,
Try not.
Those rocks are so far away.
Yeah.
You could easily dodge there. I mean,
You would have to be the worst pilot in the galaxy to crash in an asteroid field. And the asteroid fields that they're showing in these movies are so illogical. The mass would collect them together and they would form a planetoid.
Zachary, you're
Yeah.
becoming my favorite guest. I mean, you're just dunking on these nerds
It's-
movies.
I'm sorry.
And
And
it makes me so happy.
I
'cause
love these movies
hate
too.
this
They're
stuff.
great in entertainment value, but they don't go to a sci-fi movie
Yeah.
for science accuracy. You have to go to a museum for
Oh,
that.
thank you, man. Oh, and that's why you got to go to the
Why
fest.
you gotta go to the Astro
Yeah.
Fest.
Yeah, Astro Fest it up, man.
I also think that because of clickbait, my algorithm knows I like science. So I'm inundated with Facebook science stories that are just clickbait. Like they all of a sudden it'll show some sort of planet and it'll like, hey, mysterious radio waves coming at a consistent, time, pace or whatever are emanating off of this area in space. And
No, that was that satellite. It was static electricity. It was just
Sure.
bouncing off a planet.
Yeah.
And it was bouncing off an old satellite, and then it tricked them into thinking that the satellite had come back to life. It didn't.
And so over time, and it's been a while, I've realized I've come to grips with if anything really exciting happens, I'll know. Because like I won't
There'll
get
be a
it.
breaking news.
I won't get it from some sort of random Facebook ad that you want to get clicked on. It's like if some a group of Earth scientists all are convinced some anomalies happen, they can explain.
We got an
like,
alien here.
It'll be a global news that'll be inundated by, like people will be scared, like even if we found like some DNA or some sort of version of life on any other planet, some moon of Jupiter, that will be so huge.
It'd be a big deal.
That it would like blow people's minds. There would be arguments over it. I worry that people would probably think it was fake news.
Oh,
Yeah,
especially
it would
now.
take a while. It would take like 2 weeks for them to finally believe it. I guess I'm hearing it enough. It must be true at this point. But no, I mean, it goes back to the original argument of like the marketing of the universe and how we are communicating the science content. It's like, yeah, it takes clickbait to try to educate people to get even interested in it. And
But
then
then you
sometimes,
need
but then you
people-
underdeliver sometimes.
Then you need people trust.
Yeah.
So I would throw you guys in there,
Yeah.
Jeff and Zachary. I would throw Shaquille O'Neal.
yeah, 100%.
I would put Dwayne The Rock Johnson
Definitely
in there. We need a couple ladies, but you know what I mean? Like you'd have to get them to vouch for the announcement of the life form that was found.
I think if Shaq told us that there was an alien, I'd believe Shaq.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
think most people like Shaq.
Yeah.
He's like kind of the buck stops with Shaq.
So let's end with asteroids, because it's
Ties into Astro Fest perfectly.
Yeah. So, in Sweden recently, I was at this lake. I forgot the name of it, but
Probably couldn't pronounce it anyway.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, they
Yeah.
have
Well,
really.
and there were Swedish fish in
Thank you.
I'm back.
I love it, Jeff. Thank you.
And
Somebody's got to make some jokes around here.
and over time, they realized the lake and the whole chain of lakes was formed by an asteroid impact.
Oh, wow.
And they explained how scientists figured it out. And it was like they found like essentially molten glass because of where the asteroid hit, and they realized like, oh, this is from an asteroid impact, and all this lake system was created by one asteroid impact, X amount of millions of years ago, and that's essentially how they realized where the impact zone was for the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Sure. It was a layer of melted glass because the asteroid hits with such power, it burns rock
Of
into
course.
glass.
Yeah.
And then recently, I know within the past couple of years, they sent a probe satellite over to an asteroid and like was able to go touch down on it because like they're trying to practice what if we need to move an asteroid out of the way.
Sure.
And
Oh, yeah.
Like an Armageddon
I
situation.
remember
yeah, an
this,
Armageddon.
yeah.
And then science
And Bruce Willis can't do it now.
Yeah.
which is
He's in bad shape.
It's kind of sad that it wasn't a bigger deal in the news and humanity that they were able to send a satellite to touch an asteroid.
Didn't we
like
touch on this, Jeff?
And we may have.
I think so. Yeah,
I
because
think
it happened.
I mean,
It happened years
that
ago.
is a pretty incredible thing that we
Yeah.
were able to do. Like we were able to dig up Earth materials, rocks, metal, melt it down into a little machine that we exploded into space to connect to a different tiny little rock in space that we're able to see with glass through a telescope. Like that's all so weird to think about.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
And it all lined up. It's wild.
And then you think like, oh wow, like because we know that an asteroid killed the dinosaurs and there's been big asteroid impacts and there's dangerous, like you think we'd be more scared of them and you would put more money into things like defense against asteroids. But
I
then
mean, we have a mosquito defense system for Christ's sake that'll
just get
shoot.
a
and they're just
asteroid
tiny.
laser.
Yeah, it'll shoot them out of the sky.
And then I'm like, why aren't we doing more of that? You'd think that would be more of a concern. And then I think it
Cue
must
Space Force.
It must be because just like the asteroid, field, everything's so far away, the likelihood of an asteroid hitting Earth is so slim that no one wants to put money into it.
Yeah, well, it's gonna happen, right? It's just
Well,
like we're
it
banking
did-
that it's not gonna to happen while we're all here.
There's things hitting our atmosphere all the time. It's just something that's big enough that won't burn up into it as
Right.
well. Like it's like the asteroid that hit the dinosaurs. It wasn't like it was just the first asteroid that ever hit. It was the biggest one that had hit, and it was finally able to get through the atmosphere, deal with all that friction, and make a significant impact.
Yeah, and the one that when it hit Russia or like exploded over Russia, luckily it was over a forest, but it was like that's another thing that we weren't more concerned about. Like when it happened, we saw all the Russian dash cams. They're like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it exploded with the force of 10 atom bombs over this forest.
I gotta go to work. See you later.
And you're like, whoa, that's crazy. Oh, my God.
A
Keep
few broken
scrolling.
windows, keep going.
Yeah. And that was a small one. And then, like, you realize, like, they will explode. They won't, like, impact. They'll just explode in the atmosphere, and that's even worse. And, like, anyway, I don't know why I started talking about that.
Like, they have to be big enough. They have to hit at the right angle. They have to have the right velocity. All of the thing has to line up perfectly, and it's how we have to escape our atmosphere as well. When we're sending rockets, you have to send it at the right angle with the right velocity, escape the gravity, deal with the friction. So, like, for it to randomly happen just with the chaos of outer space is pretty slim odds.
Yeah, and that's probably is just like it'll never even though it has a lot of
and now the technology is advanced enough, we can track the objects that are big enough in outer space that are in our neighborhood to know their paths and where they're going to go. So we can like pretty well predict at this point. Dinosaurs didn't have computers; they can figure it out. They're
even if they
that's on
did,
them.
I feel like their typing. Would be
the T-Rex's hands
very
wouldn't work. They're just going to
difficult.
keep piercing the keyboard.
Yeah.
We said like and I assume that we do have tracking systems, and there's like a global communication between them. They're looking out to
I
make
always
sure
think of
asteroids aren't
Randy
coming.
Marsh from South Park. He's looking at the seismic computer. Like,
but I
making
only,
sure we're safe.
But we never see him. I'm like like you interview.
You don't
like,
hear
hey,
about that.
You don't. It's never seen.
I
so
would love to talk to somebody who measures like
who tracks asteroids around.
or anybody that keeps us safe from like natural disasters is pretty cool. I mean, we've done, I guess,
meteorologists and stuff.
Well, they're not as cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The news ruined that, Zachary.
Yeah, not as cool.
I'm like, this guy doesn't
I'll
know
only
anything.
vouch for one, and I saw him on Facebook last night, and that is country music singer weatherman Jim Van Fleet. I saw him last night on Facebook, and he looks good. Have you seen him? He looks
I haven't
great.
seen him in a while.
It still looks great. He's got the perfect hair, Western shirt, tight jeans, ready to rip it up on the stage.
So an Astro Fest, give us an idea of like, my sons, we've been talking about the universe for a long time, and like I try to tell them about what I know about the universe, and they are only interested at night because they get to stay up later, but I still force feed them as much as I know. And
Give
they'd
them
be
a test
interested
to see how much they remember. It could be like the Spanish immersion program.
Yeah, the better percentage,
You know,
how
like
long
what
you
if
get to
there's
stay
nothing?
up.
What if they're just like not even listening to it?
Yeah. Oh, I know they're not.
Give them a little quiz.
But what can they learn at Astro Fest?
Yeah, they're going to learn a lot about how we explore space and how humans are able to both go out into space and explore it, and how we're able to collect information here on Earth. So we have NASA coming out. They're going to do different like stage programs where they're going to learn a little bit about the launch systems, the recent missions with Artemis that are going to be happening pretty soon. So that's going to be really exciting shows that are going to happen. We're going to have so many community partners that are in the field out there. So bringing in the experts, also bringing our pizzazz that we like to bring out, the informal education, where we're going to have explosion shows and we're going to do all of our crazy wacky stuff.
And you
It's
got
just
some
bigger.
crafting going on.
Oh yeah,
right?
we have we have a cosmic lab. Everything's like dark black light lab. We're going to be doing lots of like spooky gooey space experiments. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's ruin some more movies real quick. And
Space movies only, or
space movies.
Oh, I want to give a congrats to India for their first astronaut in 41 years. That guy touched down yesterday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was on the Peloton and I watched him splash down.
No, really.
Yeah, and you know what I like? They when they leave him in there and they make the doctor get in there and check him in the capsule. I like that. It builds the drama.
Yeah,
it builds the drama. If they
Bit of
just
suspense.
walked out, it wouldn't be as special. But I like that. We got to check them. What if they're this guy's an alien? Ah,
yeah.
right. What
Well,
if he's got a space blob on him?
A lot of that is marketing and stuff. Like even with Bezos, and they're like, "Why is he running around?" Something like everybody's suspicious about. Like,
Oh,
they're
his
like,
door had caved in. I saw that.
But
that's not real.
It's like they're all trying to make it exciting, so so
Yeah.
it makes news because news is marketing is money, and it's like that's why there's so many conspiracies about the moon landing.
I
is
did
because
get
they try to
excited,
mix
though.
in marketing to make it look better, and then they're like, "This is fake." We're like, "Yeah, it was, but we still did that. We were just trying to make marketing."
And the
better."
spacesuits look cooler. They
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
The spacesuits do look
Yeah.
cooler. They look like motorcycle suits.
So in For All Mankind, the TV series, I don't know if you're familiar with it. There was an episode where they were on the moon and they needed to get around a particular from one shelter to another, and the guy didn't have a spacesuit, so he used essentially a makeshift mask and duct tape to tape all his hands and so his blood doesn't come out of his body. I don't know. I don't know what the and then
I don't know how that works.
And then he's like, if I could, expel all the oxygen out of my lungs, and I can run from here to I got 15 seconds to get from one door to the other, and then
he's
I'll
wearing
survive.
and is he wearing what is it? Did he just duct tape gloves onto his hands?
Yes, he just duct taped. He duct taped every
So just his
exposed.
extremities.
Yeah, then essentially covered all his skin, and then obviously you can't have any sort of oxygen because it'll be pulled from your body, in the vacuum of the moon, or is almost vacuum. So and I'm sure someone was like, it's a show, whatever, but like essentially,
But I want to run. I want to run.
Is there any truth in any of that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So there's more gas in our body than just the oxygen in our lungs. There's gas in our stomach and in our intestines and everything like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and the gas doesn't it's not like it takes 15 seconds for it to expand when it's in less pressure. It expands instantly. So that person would instantly turn into a person balloon and
That's why they just pop.
not make it to the next door.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So no, that was a little bit of Hollywood.
But
Nah.
duct tape.
Duct tape is really good. If he wrapped his entire body in duct tape and made like a duct tape mummy, so that way he was squeezed with the atomic pressure of Earth, the 14 pounds per square inch at sea level, where the atmosphere is crushing us and we like it.
Even then, it would just shred the
it
duct
would,
tape, right?
Yeah. So
Okay, I think that's
he
what
would have to be wrapped up tight enough, and the duct tape would have to be sturdy enough to
And
withstand
that's
the pressure.
an impossibility.
Yeah.
That's I think what they were trying to say. The science behind. They're like, if you wrap with enough pressure, there's
Yeah,
a whole.
I
they're
don't
going.
like
they're
that.
going for like decompression sickness, like divers. If they come up too fast, they can get the bends, and the gas in their blood will start to boil and everything like that. But even divers who come up too fast, they're not going to have a good time. They're going to be very, very sick. But that's very different versus the lack of pressure.
Right.
crushing
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
You remind me of something like they say that like space is not as dangerous as people think. If you compare it to the ocean, let's say, like we all know, and there's
I've heard of the ocean.
the Titan sub implosion
Sure.
and stuff, and like in space you're just dealing with a vacuum, so the
Yeah.
pressures are not as immense.
Yeah, I wonder if
obviously.
they're like. I mean, is it finite pressure up there? Does
I mean, it
change?
goes from 14 pounds of square inch to essentially 0 pounds per square inch, right? So it's 14 times less if you want to think about it like
Gotcha.
that. But
Yeah.
when you're going under the ocean, you're having thousands and thousands of pounds per square inch on your body. So it will very quickly have a much different reaction.
Yeah, like catastrophic failure is an instant implosion, explosion. I don't know.
Yeah,
Go!
yeah.
And then in space, you could have leaks, and you could hold your hand against it.
Right.
There's because
Interesting.
It's
I didn't know that.
The
That's-
force is not going to rip your spaceship apart or your vessel apart.
Sure.
Because it's just a vacuum.
Yeah,
force,
like
you
the
know?
difference between space to like sea level air pressure is maybe about an additional 30 feet down on the ocean. The additional 30 feet of ocean will double the amount of pressure on you.
Yeah.
So when you're hundreds of feet down or thousands of feet down under the ocean, water is heavy. It will crush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the way, that Netflix Titan
I started that,
documentary,
by the way. It's rough.
it's scarier than the HBO version. And then when you see they're like they're in there, it's like king, king, they're hearing this giant like the fibers from a carbon fiber hole.
Yeah,
like,
where they were
pop,
shredding. Yeah.
and then they're all in there like, oh yeah, so that's weird. And I'm like,
What's
what?
that? Oh, that's nothing.
Why? How is someone not like freaking
It's
out
like me
when you
on
hear
your
that?
boat, and I hear it smoking or something. I'm like, what is that? And you're like, it's nothing. Don't worry about it.
But this is loud. You're under the water, just a millisecond.
Yeah.
You're going to be killed. Any second is crazy. Anyway.
Have you guys watched that?
That's why we do Astro Fest. We don't do Ocean Fest.
Yeah, you know what?
Space travel's cooler and safer.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, just stay shallow. You're good.
Yeah,
You're not
I'll
that
just go
bad.
snorkeling.
Hey, appreciate you guys coming in and talking to
Well,
us today.
we
Very nice to
appreciate
meet
the
you,
time.
Zachary.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for being here, man.
And again, Astro Fest is this weekend, July 19th and 20th. Go by the Science Center. Just become a member. That way you can swing by whenever you want. And in the summer, there's still a good amount of summer left. There's still some summer camp
There are
openings.
still a handful of summer camps left for all different kind of ages. Go to the website, osc.org. You can find the summer camp listing on the education tab. But yeah, there's still a handful of camps left. We've got room in the Four Roots Farm camp.
Nice.
That the last session that starts July 28th. Taking place down at the Four Roots Farm campus down there in the packing district.
That's awesome.
Really cool collaboration. That's still available for kids in 3rd to 5th grade. So a few camps left. We're open 7 days a week until the kids go back to school. A great spot when it's hot out or it's raining. We are a wonderful indoor location. 4 floors of exhibits, films, live experiences, and cool people like Zachary to talk science with.
It's a great place to start your day. Like the way
yeah.
that we would do it, the Dennis family, is because we were members. You just go, you start your day there, and then right around like maybe a late lunch, and you're centrally located to a bunch of great spots around Orlando. If you wanted to, hit a restaurant
Right there right off Mills.
or even an adult libation, you can do so. It's the location you guys have is awesome. Plenty of parking, easy garage there right across the street.
Yeah, great location.
Sky
there,
Ridge.
Lock
And
Haven
just
Park.
go to Astrofest and then just make that your reason to sign up to be a member. That's
Yeah.
the easy thing.
Absolutely,
To do.
and like our friend Rose, even if you only got like an hour before karate,
I forgot about that. She had to go to work.
The Karate Kid,
check out
after
some
all.
exhibits and then get to karate class.
There
So.
you go.
That's osc.org, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Great job, guys. Is that it for today? No, we have
One more.
We have Tuttle.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll film it.
yeah, we can. Is he going to be on Zoom? He's going to be on Zoom.
Yeah. Is
Cool.
that too? Okay.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I mean, I can. We're not going to sit on here for 13 minutes, so I'll just.
This will be.
If it's and then I'll just record
Okay.
it.
Yeah.